So this is an animation that I made in Flipaclip, just using my iPad Pro and Apple Pencil. And this video is going to be sort of a walkthrough of how I did that. I'm not going to call it a tutorial because it's not complete and I don't have every single step to show you exactly how I made it, but I can still tell you about it and you can see what I do have. So this is just part one. We'll see how this video goes and I might complete the other parts. But I already showed the finished product. It's a girl blowing a bubble. I used my face as a reference in the very beginning, and that's the part that I don't have shown because I didn't record how I did it. But what I did was I took Flipaclip app and I opened it, and I had recorded videos of my face chewing gum and then blowing the bubble so that I could have that movement as a reference of how I wanted to, how I wanted the face to move and how a face would naturally move. So I took that and I had it open on the side. If you can do split screen on whatever device you're using, then that will work. And if you have Apple, then you can also just have the gallery or the photos app just hovering there. And so that's what I did, and I made the basic lines that I'm editing now. I made those, and then here I'm cleaning them up and just changing them so that the movement looks more natural. Of course, the other things I don't have shown are how I did the mouth moving and just the drawing in general. So it was based off of a little sketch / doodle that I did in Procreate, and I said, this would be just a cute thing for me to animate and get the experience. So I just observed how the mouth was moving and got the generic shapes, the basic shapes, and then I put those in and I had them, match to each frame, and then that's how I did the animation for the mouth. So I'm looking at that now, and one thing you'll learn about animation is you kind of get sick of seeing your own work because you just do things like this. You just go back and forth and observe the same thing moving over and over. But doing that is how you can get an eye for what looks realistic and what looks a little bit off. You do have to understand how to be cartoonish if you're doing things that aren't necessarily realism, but you're trying to get the general look of something so that it doesn't look completely out of place, not too real, somewhere in the middle. So after I had edited the mouth movement, I didn't really like how it looked and I wanted it to be much neater. So I noticed that, when you're chewing, the bottom of your jaw kind of goes in like a circular movement depending on the angle. So what I decided to do next was just take the bottom of the jaw as a reference and move that how I wanted it to move. So you can see here that's what I'm doing. I'm editing that and moving that into places and changing the rotation of it to make it pretty close to like a final product. So I think that that's something I will say if you're new to animation and you're just trying to kind of gather how you want motion to be, just break things up into small pieces. It'll take you a while to finish the product, but I think that's a really good way to take things one step at a time and not get too overwhelmed, because there are a lot of different factors, especially if you're trying to animate a face and you can kind of just get caught up in all the different moving parts. But when you're trying to be simple, it's good to just have all those different little pieces and see where that takes you. Alright, so now that I got all of those chin lines in place, the next thing that I was going to start doing is tracing out the outline of the cheek. So I was trying to make sure that that was a smooth line because before what I had was just really rough. I also wanted the lines to be thinner. So this part you'll see later if I make more parts to this video. It got kind of complicated because they didn't always match up nicely. Like maybe the left side of the face would be moving a certain way and the right side was a little bit weird. But something that helped me was obviously having that bottom line. I could see exactly where I was trying to go. So now that I've given the outline of what's going on, I'm going to take a minute to let you watch how I animate. I think this is going to be like a 3 or 4 minute clip of my animation process. So it's actually sped up, but of course it took a lot longer than 3 or 4 minutes. If you want to just kick back and watch that, then great, and if not, you can go ahead and skip. Now at this point, I have the entire left side of the face done, and I'm just going back and forth with the little timeline thing down there and looking at all the frames and seeing if anything looks like it needs to be changed. I'm gonna duplicate those frames and loop them because I think that's as far as the animation goes. So I've got the mouth chewing and the chin and left side of the face moving. I would say that if you're new to animation, don't be afraid to pick things out that don't look okay. So if you see something in your animation that you really just don't like the way it came out, just go in and spend a little bit of time trying to fix it. Don't go crazy because when you're a beginner, not everything's gonna come out the way you want it to, but it's also good to learn to get the eye for like, okay, what needs to be changed and what can be left alone. So that's what the animation looks like at this point. And then soon I'll upload a part 2 if this video seems successful, and if not, then I will just keep working on animations and finding more things to post. So thanks for taking the time to watch this, and I hope you maybe learned a thing or two.